why the hell would a health clinic need such a massive design project?
All right, guys, Dr. Jason Fan and founder and co-founder of LIVV Natural. This is Dr. Allison Gordon, and she's a co-founder of LIVV as well. And Julian is going to be our main lead designer, interior designer of the space itself. So you guys will watch through the space and kind of the before and afters. And we're super excited to kind of relaunch and almost like redesign and relive the story behind LIVV. So super excited to kind of chat about a conversation around design, branding, why we did it, the marketing aspects of LIVV, and just kind of the future of what LIVV looks like and why are we still redeveloping ourselves, 3-4 years into the business. So main question for Allie is, let's talk about like the vision you had to kind of bring Julian on the team to kind of redesign LIVV from almost the ground up again.
It's true. The goal is definitely to create a different, inviting space that is more welcoming than a usual doctor's office, because usually when you go into the doctor's office, you feel so stiff and you're going to get your health assessed, and it's kind of scary at times. So I wanted to create an environment that's warm, welcoming, inviting, kind of cool and natural in its elements as well, but still upscale because we provide quite unique services. So basically that's the foundation of the redesign. And finding Julian and Alina for Aesthetique was...
Unfortunately, she's not here. It's just me.
She's in Dubai.
Yes, but they were a great team to work with because they just provided a different element and level of what we wanted to do with LIVV. And
what did you love about it? Like, when you saw them like back to back, and Alina's little swag and style.
Infamous photo.
Yeah. I think it was the fact that our dynamic, just like male and female, that there's such opposing like energetics in a way. And I saw his vibe and then Alina's vibe, and I resonated with it so much. And just what you guys created and came together, it wasn't too feminine, it wasn't too masculine, it was just right.
And I think that's so important for like a company. I think it resonated with you guys. So when I met you guys, like I automatically felt that there was two not polar opposites, but you guys both had kind of like, this is what I like and this is what I like. And it was like, it's funny because it reminds me of me and Alina. So it's like literally yin and yang in the company. So
yeah.
It's awesome. No, listen, we're super excited for this. I think it's an amazing project. I think one of the key things that we wanted to like get here was that how do you make a space, one, serve the function that you guys want to serve, but also have like the aesthetic that's necessary to now take your brand to the next level. And then how do we tie that into the new branding and stuff like that you guys were looking to do?
Yeah, it was, I think, super exciting to kind of see. I think me and Allie talk about it a lot. It's just like, how do we make health fun and exciting and trendy and almost just like the cool kids want to do this. And obviously throughout medical school, Allie was like the supplement queen. She knew everything about everything, and she always had supplements in her bag. Be like, Jay, enzymes? Did your tummy hurt? And I was like, and it was so cool to kind of see. But then later on throughout the business, Allie was like, Jason, are you taking care of your health? And I'm like, She's like, take supplements? You do anything? She's like, Jason, you have all the access to all the medicine and the health that you can ever think of. Like, use it. And then after that, I was like, oh wow, like I'm gonna make sure I do everything I can. And then I realized like no one else does it, or no one else like is cognizant or aware of it. So now how do we draw people in with the aesthetics, the design, the look, the trend, and actually set the trend for health?
Yeah.
But Julian, like why did you embark upon this project, and what drew you to this, outside of New York and Miami and Dubai and Qatar? You have a lot of projects, right?
Yeah.
So
why? Honestly, it was you two. It's like as soon as I met you two, and I remember you slid in my DMs on Instagram. And I don't know, just when you guys told me about the project, one, it's our first project in California, so it's like, it'll be great to like have a project here. But I think the main thing was you two. You guys brought like so much energy into what you guys are doing. And I said like, it's rare that you find owners that are less corporate about what they're doing. You guys kind of live what you guys do on a day-to-day. We've hung out, we've had a great time, we've hung out, we've had a great time. It's like, I could tell that this is what was your life. So whatever we added value to was not adding value just to your business, but was adding value to you guys as people. So we said like, you know, great project, really interesting. We could bring a super great aesthetic. We like to look at everything on a holistic level. So it's not just the design, but it's the branding and it's everything that's shaping the brand. So it's like, what does this space smell like? What does this space sound like? What does this space feel like? And I thought, like when we started having meetings, I was like, with you two, I knew that you guys were executors and we'd actually get that done. So yeah.
Yeah, super excited to kind of see what the transformation looked like, you know, pre-COVID when we were discussing this, and then obviously during COVID, fast forward and like, hopefully we're at the tail end of this thing. It kind of encompasses, I think it's the almost perfect storm for health and like the importance of health. So super excited to kind of launch this concept and launch almost the rebrand of everything. But what are you guys most excited about like through this process, especially Allie's like, now you understood like, all right, what does really like an interior design project look like? What does the construction process look like? And you know, the nuances and the little things that are going through, obviously the day-to-day of what your life looks like, but yeah, walk me through that process of starting a business and obviously redesigning the whole space.
From that, all I can think about is you can structure it as much as you want and you can plan it all out to be this ideal experience and for it to look a certain way, have a vision for it, but you have to be ready to go with the flow and quick on your feet to decide. And what do you always tell me? Manage your expectations.
Manage expectations.
Manage your expectations, because that's definitely something that I learned through the whole process. But it's fun because you learn all these skills and you see like where you can pick pieces up and like how, as a team as well, like how everybody works together and makes decisions together. That's what really makes it so much more fun.
And what's cool is that you now could take this, and while you guys are expanding, you guys learned so much throughout the process that now you could now replicate this. And I think part of what we do in Me and Alina is like, how do we teach you guys as much about this process so that you guys could take this and run with it? Because when I say managing expectations, if I don't do that from the beginning, I tell you guys, project's gonna be perfect, so on and so forth, then your expectations that everything's gonna be perfect, it's gonna be smooth. No construction projects like that. But, you know, working with you two, we have Totan here as well. Honestly, it's actually it's a very smooth project, because I've noticed that even if there's like a hiccup here, a hiccup there, everyone's understanding. They're like, okay, how do we make it better?
It's super fascinating, like that perspective of like going with the flow and managing expectations, because you got to do that with your health as well.
True.
And we're managing people's expectations of like, hey, I got this chronic disease, can you fix this right away? I'm like, hey, it took 40 years to, you know, evolve over time in your body. You think it's gonna go away in 4 months? So things compound, and you know, I think it's, you know, it was cool to kind of learn. I already knew I hated construction, so I was like, Totan was a must. But yeah, I think going to Julian, obviously tell us through the experience of what you learned, like through us and obviously through the business that we're kind of running. What were your kind of key points of, you know, whoa, like this is what I've learned through this process working with them? So
my key thing is like every day is a school day. So I think, what did I learn from this project? Now, this project is the furthest away from our home office. So we have New York and then we have Moscow. So it was, how do you manage the timeline and then the times to make sure that this stuff ends up on time? Especially we got the stuff being delivered from overseas. We got the team on a different like time zone. I'm in a different time zone than you, and then I'm also in a different time zone than the office. So it's like, how do you manage all those timelines to make sure that we're connecting, we're staying communicative, and we're making sure we're getting things done as fast as we can. So definitely learned that. I've learned a lot about managing time on different time scales on this project, and I think it's fun. You learn and then you replicate it, you know?
Yeah, I think it was tough to kind of manage your timing because it was later, And then obviously you got Russia timelines, very different. And then you had Guile in Bali, that's
Yeah.
very different too.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are in different states, and our graphic designers in Australia. So like, and my SEO guys in London. So I'm like, there's so many timelines moving. And yeah, it must be tough to manage a project from a design perspective. If we didn't have Totin, this project would be toast for sure. So remember that. So, but any last remarks, kind of on the construction, design, or excitement, or?
I'm just excited. I'm so excited to see what it looks like.
No.
Yeah.
And I think the moment that everything's real is not when the project opens. It's like 2 months after.
Mm.
You walk into the space and you have all of your clients there just chilling. The music's bumping.
Fun.
It smells good. And you're just like, we got through it. And then it's funny, then you realize all the issues that you dealt with through the construction process, they're all really moot at that point, because it's like, now you're just enjoying the experience that you guys have created. And honestly, you guys deserved it, because you guys paid for it. So. You guys-
Super excited for you guys to kind of check out the space. It's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be exciting to kind of see the expansions of it, how it evolves, the way it evolves, and kind of the people and the experience that we can kind of encompass ourselves within the San Diego community, and potentially, maybe overseas, maybe in different states. Super excited to see where this brand evolves to, because I think this is just the first step. Because 3 years ago, we got the space, and it might be perfect timing where 3 years later, the whole space evolves, and the business has evolved, I've evolved, Allie has evolved, and obviously our team grew bigger. So now, super excited to kind of embark upon that next journey, and excited for you guys to kind of see it with us and grow with us as well.